I am honored to join you today as we celebrate this important milestone. This occasion, as Chancellor said, is not just a celebration of academic achievements. We are celebrating the discipline, the resilience, and the shared commitment that you committed to your studies whilst here on campus. The theme, as I am giving, is Building Leaders for National Transformation, and it is instructive for several reasons. One, it tells us or reminds us that leadership is not defined by titles, but it is defined by responsibility, service, and ability to translate knowledge into meaningful impact. When I received this invitation, Chancellor, I actually reflected deeply, and I briefly questioned whether I am equal to the task. However, I quickly remembered that whilst undergoing my training here, one of the key things or the key elements was to prepare us for such moments, such occasions, so that we will stand up to inspire, we will stand up to take responsibility and contribute meaningfully to the growth of others. So I accepted this mantle to be here and to speak to our graduating class so that you can be inspired and you can equally take responsibilities moving forward in the future. I also recognize that you don't have to wait to reach the apex before you want to touch lives. You want to support one another, build each other's up, and let us all grow together. So see me as your colleague who is ready to share and ready to learn from each other. Let me begin by addressing one critical question that I'm sure is going through the minds of many of you. The question is, why would a medical professional choose to read leadership or a business program with a Gold Coast University? At first glance, you may see medicine as a matter of just diagnosing and treatment. However, it goes beyond that. It goes beyond having to manage the complexities of human relations, the complexity of limited resources, whilst ensuring efficiency and delivering outcome of skill. As a politician and a public servant, the responsibility actually even broadens because governance involves decision-making under constraints, having to prioritize, having to negotiate, which is the key element of governance. That is what we call lobbying, and having to be accountable. You not only make policies, but you make sure they are implemented effectively. You have to make sure that public funds are used prudently and development are measurable. So my training here, I start as a testimony that it provided me a structured framework for these responsibilities to be well handled. It equipped me with the tool of leadership, the tool of finance, the tool of operations, and strategic leadership. It helped me bridge the gap between vision and execution. And in essence, it strengthens my ability to be able to deliver results. So as you graduate today, know that what you were taught in the classrooms are not meant just for the textbooks. It is meant to make sure you are prepared for the world out there. One of the greatest advantages of the experience I also had on this campus is the diversity of our classroom. You would notice, and I'm sure many of you are aware, that your various classes were a blend of people from diverse backgrounds. You have people with healthcare background, engineering, financing, entrepreneurship, public service, all learning together. The catch there is usually when there is a problem to be solved, you get people attending to the problem from different directions based on their background of experiences. This is exactly what we do in public service. I have never come across any major challenge in my leadership journey where only one sector is able to handle it all. Many a times you have to contact or consult different sectors to be able to have varied opinion and approach to be able to have a very comprehensive and a sustained results for that solution. So I want to admonish you that that environment of your study should guide you into your world. As you leave here and you go and lead in your respective businesses, your respective institutions, among others, do not act as jack of all trades. Act as a unifier who brings on board diverse opinions and diverse ideas. That is what will define you as a transformational leader. And I want to charge you with that. The second question you may also want to ask, when I was entering, I heard a lot of people calling a lot of names, is why is our minister so much present on your phones? Why is he always trending? The secret is that my project work was on internet marketing and digital marketing. So I'm living exactly what I came to school to pursue. So don't only bag the certificate and think that it is not applicable in your area of profession, or it is just to add to your numerous titles. This has helped me to be very visible, to be able to take feedbacks from the people I serve, to be able to take their problems and be able to also account to them when I have been able to intervene accordingly. And everything I have mentioned here was kind of the training I received from here. Chancellor and Mr. Chairman, as we speak about leadership and transformational leadership, there is one truth that we need to confront. And that fundamental truth is the key to our development as a country. Our nation does not only require skilled leaders, we also require ethical leaders. We require truthful leaders and require leaders with conscience. Leadership without integrity undermines institutions. Leadership without truth . Okay, we are right back. Leadership without truth erodes trust, and leadership without conscience weakens the foundation upon which development must stand. So if we are to achieve meaningful and sustained progress, then ethical and truthful leadership must be our standard, not the exception. With a true revolutionary force behind ethical leadership, I am sure we should have the conscience to be able to build Mother Ghana for this generation and the generation unborn. A leader with conscience does not base his decisions on convenience. He does not base his decisions on personal gains. Such leaders are guided by what is right, what is fair, what is just, and what is in the best interest of the people. And I'm sure that that is what your training has equipped you to become for this country and definitely for the world. So in every sector that you find yourself, you must commit to transparency, you must commit to accountability, and you must commit to honesty. These are the practical necessities that we need to build strong institutions and be able to transform our country. Before I take my seat, let me share some critical challenges that young leaders do face here in this country. And I want to encourage you with that, so that as you leave the four corners of this school, you will not look down upon yourself that you have just 1 year in MBA. You can be young in age, you can equally be young in your profession. This is to encourage you that you don't have to look down upon yourself that someone had his master's or PhD 10 years ago. So if they are sharing ideas, then you have to keep quiet until you get 5 years experience or 10 years experience. Having been appointed as the youngest ever regional minister for my country and for my region, I quickly realized that if I need to thrive, then I have to be deliberately committed to discipline, integrity, humility, and most importantly, continuous learning. You may think that you are done with all your exams, but the exams actually is what you are about to face out there. Any leader who is not open to continuous learning will never be able to fit in any institution, because any institution that you go in, there is a unique institutional culture that you need to fit in. Otherwise, you will not be able to thrive. This is the challenge that I was confronted with as a young regional minister. Beyond that, I was confronted with what I call the young leaders challenge, or a phobia syndrome of young leaders, where people automatically, when they see that you are young, you have your MBA just 1 year, just 2 years, would think or look at you with the lens of you being either incompetent or not able to stand and do the work or execute same. It is also fortified by our culture, where when you get to your respective offices or institutions, you are going to deal with superiors, people who are older than you in terms of age, among others. For me, I had to deal with chiefs, those who qualified to be my grandfathers grandmothers, uncles, mothers, fathers. And as a young person, you have to stand by and make sure you are assertive. Make sure your voice is heard. And whilst doing that, you don't want being assertive to be misconstrued as being arrogant. So you need to have a very good balance of emotional intelligence and be able to be assertive. Stamp your authority and make sure that the right thing is done for your institution. Otherwise, if you look down on yourself, people will be throwing you left, right, back, center without you having to be able to have a direction of your own as a leader. So as you go out there, I want to encourage you that you have to be firm, as I have been. You have to be decisive, yet you have to be measured in your tone, because our cultural setting and our traditional setting requires that you make your voice heard in a way that we will not take offense of. From these examples, I want to make a strong appeal to leaders everywhere to create opportunities for young people. You don't have to be requesting for 5 years experience when you know that most definitely you have to start from somewhere as an educationist or as a graduate. We want to appeal to businesses that they should equally make room for young graduates to have an opportunity to pick experiences from the companies we are applying to, instead of having to go and get the experience somewhere and they will sit with their hands folded expecting that you will use your 5 years experience to come and rather build their companies for them. Also, for policymakers, for governments, and for all institutions, we also ask that you bring the youth to the table of leadership. It helps us to be able to be part of the future that we are creating for the generation unborn. And beyond that, it helps us to be able to take responsibility of same and be able to manage it well. We want to appeal to leaders out there, especially the older generation, that as we involve us, we know we will make mistakes. When we make mistakes, guide us. When we need direction, support us. This is how you prepare us for the next generation. So in my own work, I've made a conscious effort to involve young people in governance and in development. And many of you who follow me, you can attest to the fact that I am always with the young people in making sure that I involve them in what I do and lead by that example. We will continue to engage the creatives. We will continue to engage the youth in our city beautification efforts. We will continue to engage students and the youth in all disciplines in making sure that we solve practical societal challenges in a more practical way. Recently, you saw how we engaged the home econs and the visual arts students in Kumasi, and the whole world was talking about it, that it is novel, and we have to give the young ones opportunities to be able to excel. I'm also glad to announce that in partnership with the physics department of the KNUST, we've been able to engage students to be helping us fix our traffic lights, our street lights, among other challenges that we have that is related to engineering. So I say that young people are not just future leaders. We are present contributors. And our contribution is critical in transformation our mother Ghana. So I charge you graduates that as you go with the mindset that you are not too young to lead. Do not wait for decades before taking responsibility. The time is now, and as you leave here, go with the mindset of leadership. With this, Chancellor, I want to thank you for the opportunity and thank you all for your kind attention.
Thank you so much, Honorable Dr. Frank Amoakohene. We will break for a cultural performance from the Etitu Cultural Group. But before that, permit me